It's showtime, folks. Enjoy the show.
3, 2, 1. Happy New Year! Should old acquaintance be forgotten, never brought to mind? Now I know you guys are looking at your metadata and looking at the date and going, did I get the right episode? And yes, this is the Saturday Matinée for February 13th, 2021, but it's also New Year's Day, because it's Lunar New Year. I know some of you are thinking, like, don't you mean Chinese New Year? And that's what many people in the West call it, but I happen to have a friend who's from Korea, and he was nice enough to point out that it's not just China that celebrates Lunar New Year, so it's Lunar New Year for the rest of them. So all you who can hear my voice, we here at the Next Reel are wishing you prosperity and good fortune in the year of the ox. And I couldn't be happier to be celebrating this brand new year with two of my favorite hosts, the masterminds behind Silver Linings, Ocean and Ray.
Merry New Year!
Yes. Yes, Happy New Year. I need to find someone to kiss, and since we're doing the Chinese ones, I need a Hong Bao Na Lai, which is give me the red envelope.
Nice. Exactly right. Pass around the dumplings.
Well, the red envelope has money. They give red envelope money. Yes, that's what I'm looking for. So send your cash donations to me. Thank you.
Directly to the Next Reel. No, we'll get to asking for money at the end of the show. Usually, we just like to give them some content first, and then we ask them for the money.
I was trying to get my side money. So you know.
Hey, everybody's got to have a side hustle.
Exactly.
So let's start with, what have you guys been watching? What have you seen in the last couple weeks? What have you been streaming?
Well, I actually I've been streaming an old show because, in 2020, of course, the theme was watch something old that you hadn't seen. And so since it's 2021, I figure why stop now. I caught up on I just finished the first season of a show called Warrior, which is it's on HBO Max. It was a Cinemax show. It's based on the writings of Bruce Lee, and it's a story really it's set in the 1880s in San Francisco, and it centers around Chinatown. So the main characters are characters that have immigrated over to the United States from from China. Same tomato, Canadians, Chinese are all the same. So they immigrated from China, and they coming over, and they're dealing with the impoverished conditions of the worker class of that, and then the struggles that they're having with the Americans, the Irish Americans that are there because the lower paid Chinese wages taking their jobs, and of course our main character comes over, and he's an enforcer for one of the local mobs. So there's lots of fighting scenes about various conflicts that are going on, and it's a really overall interesting show. And so I've caught up. I'm on the first season now, so I'm about to start streaming the second season. So I'm looking forward to it.
Oh, so you've been enjoying that?
Yes, yeah, I enjoy the acting. The acting is really good, and the stories are interesting. It has pretty decent fight scenes, but it has very interesting stories about the in effect the Chinese American experience in Chinatown in San Francisco in the 1880s. And they have other characters as well, like the mayor of the city and the some of the police force and all, and all the different politics that are going on, and the struggles that they each have for power, not only in the city, but in the city legitimately, but also with the opium trade and then the different rival gangs, and what they're doing and how they are rivals with each other, but they both hate the Mongolians, and why they hate Mongolians and everything, and so there's a lot of interesting layers. Well, I mean, China built a wall to keep the Mongolians out, so but there's a lot of interesting layers about the show, so it's very interesting.
All right, I've heard of that show, but I've never actually watched it. Have you ever watched Into the Badlands?
I have. I watched the first season of that, and then I haven't gotten around to the second season yet. It was a good show.
Me too.
Yeah, it was a good show. But when the first season ended, it seemed like a good end.
Yeah.
Right. And in the second season, I didn't know if I wanted to continue on seeing it, but I did like with Into the Badlands how, there's no guns and everything is sword play. And, they have only certain people that can fight with the swords. And then you have I guess for lack of a better term, plantation owners that, run these different fiefdoms, and their political squabbles back and forth. So, yeah, no, it was a good show. I think it's on my list to pick back up for season 2. I just haven't gotten around to it.
Yeah, me too. It's on my app. I keep going back and going, oh yeah, I like that show. I wanted to watch more of that. What about you, Ray? What you been watching?
I've been watching the comedy stylings, so to speak, of Cary Grant.
Oh.
And that's been really good because I didn't realize that there were so many of his films that I hadn't seen. So, yeah, I've been catching up on his filmography. And then I've also been binge watching Frasier for like the 5th time in my life. So
You hear those blues a calling, huh?
Well,
do you-
I just don't know what to do with those tossed salads and scrambled eggs there, Kyle.
Well, when you're going to start Frasier over, do you go back and watch some of the few seasons of Cheers to kind of catch up on early Frasier and then let that lead you in, or do you stick specifically to the show Frasier?
I just stick with Frasier. I mean, Cheers is... I have a love-hate relationship with Cheers. Cheers, after the first, 4 seasons, it just seems so stinking repetitive. And it just annoys the tar out of me because they have so much good talent on that show, and it's like they waste it.
You don't think of Frasier as being repetitive?
Not as.
Okay.
I'm not being anti-sitcom at all because I'm doing the same thing. My personal sitcom right now I'm watching is Night Court.
Nice.
At night, it's a kind of a busy season for me right now, so I have not had as much time to watch as I want to, but I tend to only have time to watch right before I go to bed. And so the show I watch right before I fall asleep because I can fall asleep during it and it's fine. It's Night Court. But the show I actually have been actively watching and getting highly invested in is The Wilds. Have you guys seen this?
No. What is that? It was
a show it's a show I had not heard of before until it came up on my favorite social media, which is Tumblr. Yes, I'm still on Tumblr.
Okay.
It's a show that it has a lot of stuff going on, but when everything I'm gonna tell you is basically revealed in the trailer for it. So it sounds like I'm talking about spoilers, but they give this stuff away right away. There's more goes on. So it's about a group of teenage girls who crash on an island and have to survive. So you already have it's modern times, and so it's like a group of modern girls. So deal with all this stuff. Then plane crashes. They have to survive, and so it's sort of like a Lord of the Flies, but with teenage girls. Okay, that's the first part. And then as they're going through, you then are seeing what their lives were like and how one of them even says, compared to what we have to go through as women in 2020, this is better. They show them their lives and how awful it is, and the social pressure and everything they have to go through, and how taking all that away actually is better for some of them. They're actually pleased to go on with that. So then you get a little bit of Lost there. So you sort of they go back and forth what their lives were like then and what they're doing, how it affects what they're doing now, and they're changing and growing. Okay, and then you get to the end of the trailer and it's revealed that their parents sent them there. So it's not actually a random crime. This is the camp that they were going to. It's basically they're left to survive, and someone is watching them as they're having to survive.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so
nice.
I was once it got to that part, I was like, okay, now you got me. There's all those 3 things combined. I'm like, okay, I've never really seen anything like this before. And so I started watching, and it's really, really good because their characterization of all these, there's, I think, 9 leads. Sort of 9 girls who are on the island. And they're all girls because they're, most I think are 15, 16, 17. And they all have very, very different lives. And some of them knew each other, some of them didn't. And so you get to see how their lives had crossed before and dealt with, and then how they are dealing with this situation. And it's really good. And there's also some other intrigue going on too. So you find out more about the mystery of how they got in this situation and stuff too. So there's a lot going on there. It's an Amazon original.
Oh, nice. So then are you recommending it as entertainment or as a how-to guide for parenting teenage daughters?
Well, I'll see. I have to wait until I get to the end of the thing. I have a teenage daughter, so I'm looking at going, is this a good idea or not? I guess I won't find out until the season finale.
All right.
How do they come out of it? Well, we'll see. But yeah, so that's what I've been up to. Yeah, and like I said, I haven't had any I got to, people have been saying, this is a movie podcast. Have you guys seen any movies? I have not watched any movies in the last couple of weeks.
I actually watched one that really surprised me. It was a 4.5 out of 5 star for me on Letterboxd, but I can't tell you what it is.
Oh, okay.
Because we're going to be talking about it on Silver Linings.
Ooh, a tease.
Oh, yes.
Ocean knows what I'm talking about.
I know what movie it is. Yeah.
Oh, all right.
We will
Future
be talking
episode.
about that on Silver Lining.
All right, then let's get into the news. So, unfortunately, the new year is not starting out well for the people of Blue Sky Studios because, sadly, Disney has shut them down. Blue Sky Studios, for those of you who don't know, are the creators of Ice Age and Rio, Robots. They did the Peanuts movie, and their last film, it turns out to be the last film, was Spies in Disguise, which the trailers did not really do a very good job of selling, but my youngest daughter, my 7-year-old, made me sit down and watch it with her, and it was surprisingly good. I always forget how quality the stuff is from Blue Sky. Like, DreamWorks can be very hit and miss, but like everything that has come out of Blue Sky was always really, really high quality, and it's very, very sad that for Disney, whatever reason, pandemic, whatever, they are realizing that they were still funding their own competition. I don't know. They acquired them during the Fox purchase, and then now they have shut them down. So unfortunately, 450 people over in Greenwich, Connecticut are now out of work. So I'm hoping that some of the other digital studios out there who have now learned the value of remote working will take all these people and give them new places to work, because they had done some amazing work over the course of that company's life. So what are you guys' feelings about Blue Sky?
Well, for all the companies to say, due to current economic realities, Disney,
yeah,
get real, dude. Like, tell us the real reason.
Yeah. Oh, I believe in 2018 had half of the top 20 highest grossing films of the year was Disney's. Like, you guys are doing okay.
Well, you got to cut corners somewhere, and they already have Disney animation. They already have Disney Animation Studios, and they kind of already have this baked in their cake already. And so it is unfortunate, and hopefully the employees will get absorbed either in some other Disney company or somewhere else. Hopefully, but I guess I do kind of see that when you look at what the movies were, they were quality movies, but at the same time, the staff that you keep on continually, not the creatives. It's all a bunch of jobs that Disney already had. I guess when a big fish is purchased by a bigger fish, then that bigger fish is going to get rid of some things here and there. And so this was an unfortunate casualty.
There's always a bigger fish.
Always bigger fish. That's right.
Well, I mean, they do still have Pixar, which is technically doing the same thing as Walt Disney Studios. I mean, Exactly. I think there's room for multiple studios there. I mean, even if they decided to turn them into their direct to Disney Plus studio.
Yeah, well, right now everything in Disney is direct to Disney Plus Studio. So
yeah, exactly.
That's not really going to give you distinction.
All the IP and everything comes then back to Disney proper. And so if we see any future Ice Age stuff, which I think they had announced an Ice Age series for Disney Plus, actually. So that'll still be going, but it'll probably be done in-house. Besides all the people losing their job, the most disappointing thing to me was the fact that they were making an adaptation of a very, very good graphic novel from Noelle Stevenson called Nimona. They were 75% of the way done, and now that is all just gone to the garbage. Like, they're basically just going to throw it all away.
Like, why wouldn't they at least see what the end product was if they were that far along?
Apparently they had like 10 months more to go in production. And so they were just like, no, you guys are just done.
Yep.
So I'm hoping that someone will even take, like, they've got that much of it, that they'll take it and continue on. But chances are it'll just end up in the dustbin of Disney history along next to Newt and some of the other projects that never went anywhere.
Yeah, someone will pick it up a decade from now.
Yeah, right. Dig it out and go, hey!
Yeah.
So, from the studio that brought us Robots is no more. But Ray found another story about another kind of robot.
I did. Well, if you like Florence Pugh, and who doesn't, she's got a new movie coming out that's been picked up by Apple TV Plus, I guess. And let me just read to you this little synopsis that they give you, and tell me that you will not be first in line to see this movie. The film is a sci-fi courtroom drama in which a robotic companion doll kills its owner and then shocks the world by claiming that she is not guilty and asking for a lawyer. Bum, bum, bum.
Yeah, and the name of the movie is...
The name of the movie, I don't know if they have a name.
I believe it's Dolly.
Yeah. Dolly?
Yeah, Dolly.
I'm an idiot. It's right there in front of me. It's staring me right in the face.
Yeah, it's been picked up by Apple TV Plus. So
That's right.
It'll soon be coming to a small screen near you. But I guess it's an interesting story idea, right? Whether or not you're gonna grant citizenship to an inanimate object,
Right.
You can delve into whether or not it's artificial, what artificial intelligence is, and there's a lot of ways you can go with this that makes it somewhat interesting. Although I guess I'm confident to say that I will not be watching it first. I'm going to wait and kind of see what the reaction is, and then decide.
Let Ray watch it and then give you the report back.
Yeah, exactly. I'll listen to the reviews for a bit and decide, am I going to watch this or not?
Dude, when I heard this, it was so far out left field that I was like, that is right where I'm standing to catch the ball.
So it's based on a short story by Elizabeth Bear, and it's actually being written by a couple of pretty Hollywood heavyweights, Vanessa Taylor and Drew Pearce. Vanessa Taylor wrote for Alias and Everwood. She also wrote the first Divergent and a little film you might have heard of called The Shape of Water. Drew Pearce wrote Iron Man 3, Mission Impossible Rogue Nation, and Hotel Artemis. But as I was digging into them and how they went about this, they actually did something kind of cool for the pitch. They actually have come up with this thing called a video pitch. So they take the concept of what they want to do and they create like almost a trailer for it, and then they invite all the studios to watch it at the same time. So almost like they set up their own little streaming service, and from that, they actually got a bidding war started.
That must have made a good trailer.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
and I guess they've done this on another film, too, that they're in development on, too, and started the same thing and got a really good deal on that one as well. I thought that's interesting how that's the first I've ever heard of that sort of pitch being done in Hollywood. So they seem to be a little ahead of the curve in terms of remote pitching.
Yeah, no, and that is a very smart adaptation to the fact that you can't physically get in a room with these executives anymore. So
Right.
Yeah, so that is impressive, and I'm sure that will be copied by many people in the future.
Yes. But one person who doesn't need to refine their pitch is Marvel, and so we have a little bit of Marvel news. The MCU is doing a new Blade movie, and for the first time, it will be written by a woman of color. How about that?
Nice.
So Stacey Osei Kuffour is actually from HBO's Watchmen. She was a story editor and has credit on episode 7 in Almost Religious Awe. And I don't want to spoil Watchmen for anyone who hasn't seen it, but that was I found a couple of elements that were in that episode that anyone who saw it will remember. So here's my keywords: flashback, elephant, hammer, and a trial. Now, do you remember which episode that was?
It's also
Nicely done, sir.
Funhouse Mirrors, right? Isn't it that one at the beginning?
Yes, I believe that is the one. Yeah.
Okay, then yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Nope. I'm with you. And that was it was a good episode.
Yeah.
Blade is a movie that I am looking forward to seeing what they can do with the character. Wesley Snipes, the movie that the Blade movies that Wesley Snipes made at the time were very great at the time.
Yes.
They don't.
Who says they still
up that well. So if you haven't already seen them, I'm not necessarily saying run out and do that.
Yeah.
But if you have seen them, they're great to enjoy again. But you need to kind of see them then.
I think that might be a willing a silver linings worthy film, the first one at least.
Well, if you haven't seen them, go out and start with Blade Trinity.
Why would you do that to people, Ray?
Exactly. Yeah, watch them.
These are our people. These are our fans. Don't betray them like that.
Yeah, watch them in reverse order, and then it just gets better and better.
Oh, that's true too. If you're going to watch the trilogy, that's the order to watch it in.
It is. So I'm hopeful that they're able to, do something interesting with the character and make this into a good story. I think that Blade is one of those. It can go either way, right? They can try to go horror and then make a horror movie. They can try to make it more of a superhero movie, or they can try to thread the needle and do both. And then if they do that, then they have a higher probability of just failing. And so, I'm curious and interested of what they're going to do with this. And I still sometimes even wonder. There's all the hype about it being made, and there's just part of me that ever since I saw the announcement, I was like, I don't know if they're going to redo Blade.
Have either of you played the video game Marvel Ultimate Alliance that came out in the mid-2000s?
Yes, it is one of my favorite games of all time.
Mine as well. You have not.
I have
Get
not.
on it. But I bring it up because I'm really curious as to how they're going to make Blade a part of the overall MCU, because they have Blade a very small role in that game.
Yes.
And it never quite seems to mesh, to flow nicely. I don't know. It seemed kind of shoehorned in. You know what I mean? And so I hope that the writers of this film and the MCU at large find a nice way of doing it.
Yeah, I agree. Marvel always has a plan. And so I'm hoping that Blade is going to be kind of a gateway to that side of the MCU we haven't seen before. Like, that we're going to get into the supernatural side of it. So, like, from Blade, we can get into Midnight Suns, we can get into Ghost Rider, we can get into even Dracula. I mean, all these things. So, man. Like, that kind of area. In the same way that Doctor Strange opened up that sort of magic side, this can sort of open up that part of it. And so then more stories can come from inside there. At least that's the hope. But, really, we need to get one good movie and then see if we can go from there.
And I saw that, the way they announced it was kind of like at the end of the Comic-Con, like, oh, yeah, and by the way, there's this, which also makes me think and wonder, maybe they're not going to include it in the MCU. Like, it's going to be its own separate standalone property, because the way the MCU has been built out to this point, and it's, I think that the part of the problem you'd have with it is that if you had Blade in the MCU, that means you have to put S.H.I.E.L.D. into the story, right? Because S.H.I.E.L.D. is everywhere. I mean, look, even if you look at like WandaVision, right? What's going on?
S.H.I.E.L.D.'s not really around anymore, but like Sword, I guess is now
Sword. I mean, you'd have to have something like that kind of, to be a part of it, because you're kind of, they're pseudo making the MCU like, well, what if these things were real, right? They're kind of straddling that line, and I think that with Blade, I agree. I didn't play the video game, but it doesn't fit, right? And I think that there is room for them to have an overarching MCU where everything fits together, and also to have, hey, here's a side project off to the side, or this side group that is just, it's a Marvel story, but it's not a part of the MCU that the Avengers are a part of.
Well, interesting you should say that, because currently in the comics, I believe the current Avengers is being written by Jason Aaron. Blade is a member of the Avengers.
No way.
Yes. Like in the current run, there's been like all sorts of supernatural stuff is happening. So they called in a supernatural expert, and he has sort of stayed around. So Blade is actually an active member, and he's having a hard time with it because he is not a team player. But it's been interesting to have that dynamic, too, of like someone who wants to just take care of it all himself and run in, and having Captain America and Iron Man go, whoa, man, like, calm down. We can all work together. You don't have to just take care of this on your own. So it's been interesting to see that side of it.
That is intriguing.
Yeah.
All right. So that's the last piece of news we had that I wanted to talk about is we at the SatMat have been closely following Aaron Sorkin's new movie, Being the Ricardos, and so now we have two new pieces of casting because we have Fred and Ethel.
Yay!
Ethel is Nina Ariandana, and she's from Hannibal, the TV show, Billions, Stan and Ollie, Florence Foster Jenkins, and as far as I can tell, she's great. I've never actually seen her in anything. But because that's not
great.
What blew my mind. Oh, okay.
I love Billions. She's great. She's great in Billions. She's great in Goliath. Yeah, she's great.
Okay, good.
Yes.
Because the thing I'm most excited about is the fact that Fred is being played by J.K. Simmons.
Yes.
I just love that guy. Everything he's in. But it's so perfect. It's one of those things where you read it and go, oh, of course he is. Of course he is. Because not only is he a fantastic actor, he can do that, but he kind of looks like him too.
Right? I mean, this article that you shared, the picture that they have at the top with both of these actors side by side, you can totally see Fred and Ethel in their faces.
Yeah, and as opposed to Commissioner Gordon, he'll actually have to put on weight.
Right? I was just thinking the same thing.
Got to get that guy out of the gym for a while so that he can start getting his Fred body ready. Have you guys, were you guys, I mean, we're all about the same age, so we weren't around when I Love Lucy was around the first time, but it was in heavy rotation when I was a kid. So did you guys watch I Love Lucy?
Yeah, here and there.
Yeah, I'd be in the same boat. I've seen a few episodes here and there. And
yeah. I mean, it wasn't everything like appointment television or anything, but like what people don't remember that these millennials, they don't understand the fact that we had to watch what was on
at the time. That's right. If it wasn't on the 3 channels, forget
we had
it.
13 channels if we were lucky.
Well, and also to a lot of it with our generation, if you saw a lot of I Love Lucy, it meant your parents were watching it.
True.
Right? You know, because
That's true,
you
too.
only had control of the television on Saturday afternoons.
That's true.
And
Yeah.
then that was it. Yeah. So yeah, my parents weren't big I Love Lucy watchers, so I haven't seen a lot of it. Seen episodes here and there. I'm going to be obviously very keenly interested in the movie because it's Aaron Sorkin, and I just watch everything Aaron Sorkin does.
Yeah, I believe that they're saying that it's going to be similar to Steve Jobs, where he's going to sort of have a central event, and they're going to kind of like follow this, as opposed to trying to do the full biopic, like from beginning to end. Like they're like events, sort of crucial in their life.
Which is how you'd have to do this in a movie form. To do anything more comprehensive, it'd need to be a television series.
Yeah. So yeah, we're going to keep our eye out for that one because it's going to be super fun. So, all right, that wraps up for news. Let's move on to trailers. And Ray, you got in there first, so tell us about your trailer.
All right, so if you have not gotten enough of old crotchety Bruce Willis, then, my friends, you are in for a treat because he is back. But not only is he back, he's going to space.
4 hours ago, the crew of the Vander made first contact.
Stay there.
They believe we're hostile.
In the event of first contact, humanity must strike first to ensure the continued survival of our species.
Operation Cosmic Sin is now a go.
This movie is called Cosmic Sin. Bruce Willis is one of 7 rogue soldiers who find out about this newly discovered alien civilization, and they have a rule where if there is a new alien civilization discovered, preemptive strike automatically in the hopes of ending interstellar war before it starts. And so you follow this gang of thugs. Sorry, Next Reel Film Board, no offense. With Frank Grillo is in there, Brandon Thomas Lee, among others, and they're trying to take down these aliens before the aliens can do anything to them. Nothing xenophobic about that.
This is why we need a Prime Directive.
Right? So what did you guys think?
When I saw the trailer, it looked like great fun. It looked to me like a really fun movie that the plot was like, who cares? It's Bruce Willis shooting up aliens and having fun. And so it's kind of the movie, the type or style of movie that I think that with the pandemic was either shut down or not really brought out, where it looks very big budget summer blockbuster type of movie, and a lot of those seem to have been shelved and waited till they get back in theaters. And this one looks like, to me, a return of movies that you could watch for pure entertainment value of it. And so it looks like a lot of fun. Then as much as you want to, if you want to be highbrow about movies, you can hate on stuff like this, but I'll be watching it the second it comes out.
Yeah, it's interesting that the trailer rolls along and I see Bruce Willis and go, ugh. And then I see Frank Grillo and go, oh, like, how times have changed.
I have the exact opposite reaction. Go ahead.
Oh,
Really?
Yes.
yeah, I'm sort of with you on this one, Ray, in terms of like Bruce Willis, I feel like has been sort of sleepwalking through everything. I think he has kind of a reverse Samson thing going on, because I feel like ever since he shaved his head, his talent has really dropped down.
Yeah, what can you do, man?
Put him in a
Wouldn't
wig.
that
That's
be
what.
a Samson thing, because once Samson cut his hair is when he lost his powers.
Oh, wait, maybe it is. Maybe this is a full-on Samson thing.
So you feel that Bruce Willis had more talent on moonlighting, because I don't think he's had hair since then.
I do.
Right? Because in the Die Hards, he was already. Oh no!
I think. Well, he was shooting at the same time.
He still had his hair. Yeah.
Right. He was doing it at the same time. He was shooting.
Yes, he was.
by day and Die Hard by night.
I'm sorry. I love Bruce Willis. So I think.
But what about Frank Grillo? You make it sound like you don't like Frank Grillo.
What's wrong with Frank Grillo? He's crossbones.
Have you not seen The Purge Anarchy?
I have, and meh. So pretty much everything Frank Grillo does to me is just meh. Watch it. It's there, but it's like
Fair enough.
You need to watch Wolf Warrior 2.
I did not do that. No, there's a lot of Frank Grillo that I've skipped. But there's some stuff I've seen. He's an okay, serviceable character actor for the roles that he's in, and it's fine. But he's not going to move the needle for me. However, you put Bruce Willis is going to shoot some aliens up. And I'm just like, yes, let's do that.
Yeah, this is being written and directed by Edward Drake, who made a movie called Broil. Have you seen Broil, Ray?
No, okay. I haven't even heard of it until, I'll be honest, he doesn't have that many bigger films under his belt directorial-wise.
Actually, that's something all three of our trailers share, actually.
Yes. And I know at least yours and mine, Kyle, are Saban.
Yes, I know Saban has reached out beyond Power Rangers and is developing a lot more things now.
But anyway, if you want to check out this movie, it will be available as of March 12th. And as far as I can tell, it's not going to be exclusive to any particular service or anything. So
purchase it from your subscription service of choice.
Okay, all right. I will go next with mine.
Yep, you're up.
So my movie, the synopsis is: a wealthy Nigerian American teen is pulled over by police, shot to death, and immediately awakens, reliving the same day over and over, trapped in a terrifying time loop, forced to confront difficult truths about his life and himself. And this is The Obituary of Tunde Johnson.
Babatunde Adesola Johnson was born on December 30th, 2002. His parents and friends called him Tunde.
Tunde? How do you say it? Tunde. Tunde.
On the night of May 28th, 2020, Tunde Johnson departed this life.
I'm black and gay. And even those two hate each other.
People like Soren don't end up with people like you. They end up with girls like me.
I watch you hurt her every day.
I'm sorry, okay? I worry about how people would treat me if they knew.
He's gay.
No, he likes me.
Sorry.
What are you talking about?
Have you ever been stopped by the police? Did something happen?
You comply and you stay silent. Your life is more important than your pride.
The trailer of the movie kind of stood out to me. The first part of it, because it kind of has what I would consider three phases. The first part of it is it opens with him being pulled over by the police and the police not being able to pronounce his name correctly. And, given modern times and, my own experiences, I'm like, oh, well, this is going to end poorly. Mm-hmm. And it does. And then he awakens, and I immediately thought, oh, it's going to be like Groundhog's Day or the better version of that, Live, Die, Repeat. No, Edge of Tomorrow. That's right. Live, Die, Repeat was Edge of Tomorrow, the better version of that. Right. Does that. And then, it kind of delves a bit more into the story of who he is as a person, and that he's a black gay teenage kid that and he's kind of coming to grips and trying to handle that, and then also navigate. It looks like the end of high school since he's apparently 18, so I'm assuming he's a senior. Navigate those things and while reliving the same day over and over again, trying to improve on somewhat on himself, but also potentially to avoid the same fate. Because even in the trailer, they show you that it's not that he ends up in the same place and gets killed. It seems to be that he's getting killed at different places just around the same time. And so it's an interesting looking movie to me. I thought it was definitely worth mentioning and having out there. I think I look at this and I think I'll watch it. Right? It looks really interesting. It looks like something that you'd remember and everything. Remember later on.
I got to tell you a secret, and I'm ashamed to admit this. I didn't realize until you specified it that this was him living every day over and over.
It's not explicitly clear in the trailer that that's happening. But I did the same thing. I had to look it up and find the synopsis before they mentioned the time loop.
I watched this trailer, and as soon as it was done, I was like, I need to see this. This looks like a gut punch of a movie, man.
Oh, absolutely.
And I was really intrigued, shall I say, to see Nicola Peltz in this movie, because I really liked her in Bates Motel, the series, And I think the last thing that I saw her in was one of those abysmal Transformers movies.
That's right. Yeah, that was her. That's her largest credit. It was the one that stars Marky Mark. So not
Age of Extinction.
Yes,
Age of Extinction.
Everybody's got bills to pay.
Exactly.
Man, I am really excited to see this movie. What about you, Kyle?
It actually reminded me of. Have you guys watched any of the new Twilight Zone?
No, the Jordan Peele one?
Yeah. They're the second episode, I believe it's the second episode of the first season of the new Twilight Zone is a version of this story where a mother is trying to take her son to college, and they keep getting stopped by this cop and killed. The son, her son dies, and so she keeps trying to figure, and then she wakes up again and has to do it, and so she's trying to figure out how to basically just get from their house to the college and keep him alive. And it was a fascinating story, and just about like all the different ways that she tried to directly confront this cop. She tried to avoid him. She tried to, basically appeal to his better nature, and all these different ways that she tried. And so when I watched this, it kind of reminded me of that, and that was a great story. So I'm always a fan of time loops. I'm glad that it sort of has elevated beyond just Groundhog Day, that other people are using this device essentially to tell new stories. And this is the sort of the most, besides the Twilight episode, this is like the most mature version of that, as opposed to, I mean, I love Palm Springs, but Palm Springs is a romantic comedy,
right?
And so this is using that same idea for a much more serious thing. And actually, it reminded me a little bit of Daybreak, which I talked about on the Take 10 episode, because about a guy who's trying to solve a murder and he's caught in a time loop as well. But yeah, this was not on my radar at all. So I'm glad you found this, because this is pretty cool. This is Ali Leroy's first movie. He's done a bunch of television, but this is his first actual feature.
Yes, yeah. Predominantly, he's from Everybody Hates Chris. Not We There Yet. Also, the actors are not as well known either. There's Steven Silver, who plays Tunde Johnson. I think his biggest roles from the Netflix show 13 Reasons Why. And then there's Spencer Neville, who is really a co-star who plays Spencer Neville is Tunde's friend / lover who has a girlfriend played by Nicola Peltz, who and you can tell that part of it is that Tunde is out and comfortable with who he is as a homosexual, but then Spencer Neville's character is not, and so that adds to some of the layers of complexity and tension throughout the story.
All right, and when does that drop?
It's supposed to come out. It releases on February 26th. It doesn't really say anything as far as where, other than like you'll be able to access it on Apple TV, but it looks like it's maybe even just at that point just for rent, like it's on premium on demand. There hasn't been any notifications as far as which streaming service will ultimately be able to be streaming it.
All right, so keep your eyes for that. My trailer is a soft, sweet, romantic comedy that's called Happily.
Hello.
Ma'am, I work for the city. Every few years, we encounter someone with a defect. You have sex 2.5 times a day on average. You rarely fight. After the injections, you will wake up tomorrow just like everyone else. You'll feel normal.
I don't want to be here.
Where do you want to go?
I don't know, anywhere. Hi, Karen.
If you guys are still interested, we'd love for you to come on the couples trip.
Amazing.
What are we gonna do?
We have to pretend like nothing ever happened.
He never showed up to our door.
Hey, the first couple has arrived. Who wants a tour? How about this one? Oh, that's not a bedroom.
So there's a gun room.
We're gonna have a killer weekend.
So the two of them are a very, very happily married couple, and they've been married for years, and things are going fine. And this is apparently a problem in this universe, because it seems to be that they are too happy, and so someone shows up at their door to say that they need to take a shot to be less happy. And then antics ensue, and somehow they end up at a sort of a couples retreat at this really swanky mansion with a bunch of people, and then they're locked inside and things happen. So I'm not exactly sure what all's going on, but I can tell you this cast is unbelievable. Right. So besides besides Carrie and Joel McHale, you have Stephen Root Natalie Morales, Shannon Woodward, Charlene Yee, Brecken Meyer, Paul Scheer, Kirby Howell-Baptiste from The Good Place, and Al Madrigal. Like, I would just go to a party if those people were there. I don't even care if they're shooting a movie. It reminds me a little bit of like, I know this is the thing that keeps coming up between here in Exam. Like, I share a passion with another one of our hosts for single location movies. So like I like that you're in one place, like, you know, like a Panic Room thing where like you're in one location and you have just sort of like pinballs, everybody's bouncing off of each other. So this looks to be a dark comedy in the vein of like Very Bad Things, where there's going to be blood is going to be spilled, there people will die, and hopefully we'll be enjoying it while it happens.
First off, it looked funny. Right, and that's the thing I thought about. Is it looked like, hey, this was going to be a decent comedy, and it especially the way the trailer opens, it makes you think that, okay, we're just going to have a type of rom-com where I guess not rom-coms, right? Just type of comedy where there's going to be a main couple and then they're going to play off their friends. Mm-hmm. Once the trailer shows you the gun room, that's when I was like, okay, well now we're talking, right? And so I like it looks interesting in some of the layers of where it could go, right? Is it that they're all being, because they are being watched, so is it that they're in some type of experiment that other people are trying to then put upon them? Mm-hmm. Or is it that the friends got together and colluded and said, hey, these people did not take the shot, so now we got to kill them, right? And so, so it looks interesting on multiple layers. I think that it'll be both funny, hopefully with a couple of twists, and an interesting movie, so I do look forward to checking it out.
Yeah. I agree. This looks tremendously funny. I mean, don't you wish you had that problem, that you were
right?
just too happy? But yeah, I mean, I think this is one of the few times that I have been really anxious to see all the movies that were picked as trailers in a SatMat. So I don't know what else to say that hasn't been said.
Yeah, this is another first-time director. This is Ben David Grabinski. This is his he's done a bunch of writing stuff, but this is the first time he's actually get to direct a movie. So all three of our people are pretty new to the game. So hopefully within three we'll find a future star. All right, so let's move into. So I created a little game for you, gentlemen.
Not you.
Yes.
I only play big games.
Oh, well, then that's okay, because we're going international with this one, because today's game is called Foreign Films. See, the chief export of the United States is entertainment. Please don't fact check that. But when movies travel outside of our borders, oftentimes the titles have to get translated. So we're going to play a game, Ray versus Ocean. This may be the end of Silver Linings, to see who can figure out what the original American title of these movies are. So here's what's going to happen. We're going to be 2 rounds. I'm going to basically tell you the year and the genre of the movie, and then I'm going to tell you what the translated title is. Your job is to tell me what the actual movie is. So, you get.
And if we get it wrong, can we steal from the other?
Yes. So you get 2 points for getting it right, and if you get wrong, then the other person can steal to get 1 point.
Perfect.
All right.
So here's the example. In China, this 1999 supernatural thriller is known as "He's a Ghost."
The Sixth Sense.
There you go. So I will go back and forth because right. They spoil it right in the title. Exactly. I'm gonna go back and forth because
if you get the for example, isn't that 5 points? I mean, that's how we play.
You're gonna beat me anyways.
So we're gonna go back and forth. I don't trust the Zoom to give us to not have lag. So we're just gonna go back and forth. So
fair enough.
Ray had the first trailer, so he will go first. Okay. So this 1990 romantic comedy in China is known as "I Will Marry a Prostitute to Save Money."
Pretty Woman.
Correct. And these come from the internet, but these are from respectable websites. And I should also say, every one of these movies are like movies that are famous. Like, they are well known.
Sure.
So there's no weird, obscure stuff. These are all Oscar winners. These are box office champions. Okay. All right. Ocean. This 1994 action thriller in China is known as "This Hitman is Not as Cold as He Thought."
Oh. It's 1994 thriller.
1994 action thriller.
Action thriller. This
hitman is not as cold as he thought.
The Professional?
Yes. Well done.
Or Leon, depending upon where.
Or Leon, the Professional, depending on the cut.
Yes.
All right. Back to Ray. This 1983 sex comedy is known as Just Send Him to University Unqualified.
I'm going to get this one wrong because the only thing I can think of, I'm pretty sure, was the year after, and that's Back to School.
No, it is not Back to School. Ocean, can you steal?
Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
No, it is Risky Business.
Oh.
So no winners on that one.
Was he going to college or school or anything?
I thought so. I thought he was trying. I think it was like the summer before he went away.
Yeah, that's right. Because he was trying to save up. He did the business and everything. Okay.
Yeah. All right. Ocean, to you. In France, this 1999 action movie is known as The Young People Who Traverse Dimensions While Wearing Sunglasses.
Oh, the Matrix.
The Matrix. All right. Ray, we're going a little bit further back. This might be more in your wheelhouse.
Okay.
A political thriller from 1962. It's called Sniper Without a Shadow.
Manchurian Candidate?
Yes. Well done. All right. Ocean.
Sir.
This is a nice one. This 1997 American historical drama is known in China as His Great Device Makes Him Famous.
His great device makes him famous?
Yes. I think Ray just got it.
Wow. Okay. And it's 1997.
It's 1997.
And it's
a drama.
It's a drama.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, clearly it's going to be someone that invented something.
Could be.
Yeah, I have no idea what that would be. I'm totally blanking on that. I feel ashamed. I should.
I think
know
Ray's
that.
got it. So.
Yeah, Ray.
I really don't have it.
Okay.
I was just laughing at him.
Oh. All right. So, Ocean, do you have a guess, Ocean, before I let Ray take a shot?
Okay, sure. His great device makes him famous.
Yes.
A Few Good Men.
No.
No, it's not that.
Right?
I don't know.
The only 97 movie with a device that comes to mind is Austin Powers with his Swedish made.
You are very close, but in fact, it is Boogie Nights.
That's just.
That's right. You guys weren't thinking dirty enough.
Yeah. Well, that's
I'm trying to get out of the habit.
I thought of the device, and I just could not think of a movie that was. Yeah, I should have gone with that. So.
All right. So Ray. Let's see. This 1997 female-led American war drama is known as Satan Female Soldier.
G.I. Jane?
Yes.
Satan?
Satan Female Soldier. All right.
Well, a shaved Demi Moore, I can totally see the resemblance.
Yeah. Ocean. This 2010 American comedy sequel is known as Zany Son-in-Law, Zippy Grandkids, Sour Father-in-Law in Thailand.
Did you say, what was the last two words in Thailand?
In Thailand.
That's where it's known as this.
That's where it's known as this. Yeah.
Okay,
in Thailand,
right.
they call this movie.
In Thailand wasn't in it. Then it's
no. In Thailand, they call it. What? Sorry.
Meet the Fockers.
Ooh, very close. 2010. Ray.
Little Fockers.
No. Oh yes, Little Fockers. So 1 point for.
Oh, I totally sniped that from you, man.
Yeah. I did say sequel. I did say sequel in the thing.
Yeah.
All right,
well,
so
isn't Meet the Fockers the second one?
Meet the Fockers is the second one.
It is. Yeah, I didn't say which sequel. I said it was the sequel.
Yeah.
Okay, so the last two of this round, they're a little tougher. So let's see. That one.
So it's Ray's turn.
Okay, yeah, Ray's turn. Okay, so Ray, from 1993, this horror comedy is known as Captain Supermarket.
Captain Supermarket.
Captain Supermarket.
A horror comedy from 93.
Yeah.
It's not Drop Dead Fred, is it?
It is not Drop Dead Fred. Ocean, can you steal?
Shoot, the movie I'm thinking of, I don't think it's not that old. So the only one I'm thinking of is Zombieland, but I don't think it's not that old. It's not.
Yeah, Zombieland is not that old.
Zombieland's not that old. Yeah.
Nope. It is, in fact, come get some Army of Darkness.
Oh! Wow.
Shop smart. Shop S-smart.
Wow.
Son of a gun. I hate myself.
Okay, so Ocean. This Oscar-winning 1997 dramedy is known as Mr. Cat Poop.
Wait, a 1997 dramedy?
1997 Oscar-winning dramedy.
Oscar-winning dramedy.
Yes, is known as Mr. Cat Poop.
Cat Poop.
Yep.
Oh, wow. Mr. Cat Poop.
I know this is a tough one. I can say I would lean on the first side of it, not on the last side of it, because the explanation is not going to help as well.
Schindler's List.
Nope, it's not Schindler's List. Ray, can you steal? You've broken Ray.
All right. The only thing I can think of is As Good as It Gets.
Yes, that is correct.
Really? Oh my goodness.
Yes. Apparently, his name Melvin sounds in Chinese like cat poop.
Wow.
Like their word for cat poop.
Okay.
All right, so Ray is ahead, but everything can change because our points are going to double in round 2 because we're doing things a little differently. I'm going to give you 3 foreign titles of the same movie, and you're going to tell me what it is. So, all right, so Ocean's behind, so we're going to let Ocean go first.
Okay.
Okay, so this is a comedy spoof from 1998.
Okay.
In Spain, it's known as Overdose of Gold. In Italy, it's known as Run, Run, Then I'll Take It. And in Germany, it's known as Ghetto Busters.
Did you say Ghetto Busters?
I did say Ghetto Busters. A comedy spoof from 1998.
Okay, I'm stuck on Ghetto Busters. Okay, what was the other one? Run, Run, and what?
Run, Run, Then I'll Take It. And in Spain, Overdose of Gold.
Oh, was it in 98? Is that Austin Powers the in Goldmember?
No.
Okay.
Ray, can you steal?
I doubt it. The only thing I can think of is Scary Movie.
No, but you're closer. It's I'm Gonna Get You, Sucker.
Oh,
that really. I thought that movie was older.
Yeah, no, me too.
Okay, yeah. So now I hit myself. When you said Ghetto Busters, that's actually what I thought of, and I was like, no, but that's older. Okay.
All right. So Ray, this 2013 movie about con artists got 10 Oscar nominations, no wins. In France, it's known as American Bluff. In Spain, it's The Great American Swindle. And in China, it's the United States Cheat Bureau.
The only thing I can think of is 21.
No, it is not 21. Ocean, can you steal?
You said 10 Oscar nominations?
I did. 10 Oscar nominations, no wins. So I liked it enough to bring it to the party, but not enough to put some gold on it. That is 2013.
2013, 10 nominations and no wins. So
yep.
I'm thinking a Martin Scorsese movie.
Interesting.
And it's
always a bridesmaid.
Yeah, exactly. Always a bridesmaid. Never Confidence. Yeah, I can't think of anything other than Confidence, and I know it's not that.
No, it's not got.
I don't know.
But you're closer. It is American Hustle.
Oh, okay. Got it.
I thought when I said American Bluff, I thought you'd get that one. So, okay. All right. So let's see what that was. Right. So back to Ocean.
Got it. We're failing in round 2, Ray. We gotta step it up.
I'd say there's tougher. All right. So this 2004 indie comedy is better known for its behind-the-scenes drama. In Spain, it's known as Strange Coincidences. In Hungary, it's known as Multinationals Go Home. And in Portugal, it's known as The Psycho Detectives. This one's a little more obscure, but still pretty famous.
So it was what year and is a drama?
It was a 2004 indie comedy. It's known for behind-the-scenes drama.
Got it. And it was... say those titles again?
Sure. In Spain, it's Strange Coincidences. In Hungary, it's Multinationals Go Home. And in Portugal, it's The Psycho Detectives.
Multinationals Go Home.
Yeah, if it helps, Multinationals Go Home has an exclamation point at the end of it.
Well.
That makes the difference.
That was all I needed. So now I know exactly what it is.
And maybe I left out the ellipses from Run, Run, Then I'll Take It. Maybe that was what...
Yes. Okay. So I like Multinationals Go Home. That's great. Okay. 2004 it's a rom-com, right?
Yeah, it's an independent comedy, but if it's an American comedy, chances are it's a rom-com.
Okay, so Multinationals.
But I wouldn't say it's very romantic.
Yeah, well, okay, yeah. So if it's an independent comedy, then let's see. So it's by Kevin Smith. And
okay, interesting.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm going through my thought process. I'm thinking it's going to be Kevin Smith, independent comedy. I have no idea.
I have a suspicion that you're not going to know it when I say it.
Yeah, I'll just say Dogma.
Dogma. Okay, nope, it is not Dogma.
It's not Dogma. All right.
No. Ray, can you steal?
I don't even have a guess.
Okay. It actually is I Heart Huckabees.
Was it the one where she had the baby in the Walmart?
I believe so. Yeah.
Is that one? Okay. Yeah.
Well, I haven't seen it in a really long time. That was with Lily Tomlin, where there's the famous video came out of David O. Russell screaming at her on the set.
Oh, okay. Yes. No, I remember that. She was. Wasn't she screaming at him?
I believe they were both doing a lot of screaming at each other.
Yes.
All right. Yeah. So our last one then. This is for the game, Ray. This Western from 1968 in China is known as the Western Department of Memories. In Germany, it's known as Play Me the Song of Death. And in Sweden, it's known as Harmonica, the Avenger.
The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.
Nope.
Oh,
Ocean?
I know what it is.
Can you steal?
The Outlaw Josie Wales?
Oh, you guys are both in this right thing, but not there. Once Upon a Time in the West.
Okay.
Oh, the harmonica!
The harmonica!
Was the giveaway!
Harmonica the Avenger! All right, so I had let's see, a score of 5, 6, 7, 8-4. Ray is our champion. You are now our international correspondent.
So we'll be sending you away. Sample.
And just in case there was a tie, I have a tiebreaker question because I want to make sure that this makes it onto air. So this musical comedy from 1967 in Italy is known as Please Do Not Touch the Old Women. Whoever says it first can have
the producers.
The producers. And that's our game.
All right.
Please do not touch the old women.
Please do not touch the old women.
Wow.
All right. So thank you guys for playing. All right, now
that was good. That was
good. That was great.
Thank you. That was our bonus game. But what people are really here to say is about small friend introductions. So thanks, Rob.
Exactly.
So let's get into the game.
I feel responsible for that. I feel like he was getting back at me for punching animals. So.
All right. So in honor of Scarface and Say Hello to My Little Friends, we have each chosen 3 films about small friend introductions. So Ray, you had the first trailer, so you can go first.
All right. Well, there's a little bit of a theme to the 3 movies that I've chosen. The first film that I've chosen is based off of a graphic novel, and the scene is where one of our heroes is infiltrating the villain's headquarters and gets into a fight with a bunch of guards, and one of the henchmen gets a little excited because he has a weapon that he wants to introduce, and it's a bazooka. And so he comes out with the bazooka, aims it at Hit Girl right before Kick-Ass arrives.
Oh, nice.
Kick-Ass. And he says, I always wanted to say this, say hello to my little friend.
All right. Okay.
So, there's a little...
Yeah, I think that's a movie that is actually better than its source material.
There you go.
Yes. All right. So
Kick-Ass.
I also was very upset with Rob for saying this because when I was listening to the last Sab Matt, I heard him say that, and I was like, oh, well, that's what's going to win.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah.
So I decided to take it as literally. So my theme is to try to take that as literal as possible. And so
interesting.
I'm going to, with my first movie, just describe the introduction. So inside of a business owner says to the people that are surrounded around him, of course they're people. They're from Loompa Land. It is a terrible country. Nothing but desolate wastes and fierce beasts. My friends are so small and helpless, they would get gobbled up right and left. Wang Doodles would eat 10 of them for breakfast, and think nothing of it. And so I said, come and live with me in peace and safety, away from all the Wang Doodles and hornswogglers and snozwangers and rotten vernicious knits. In the greatest of secrecy, I transported the entire population population of Oompa Loompas to my factory here. So my movie is Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, the 1971 version that was good, not that crap that they would done with Johnny Depp later on.
And in Denmark, that film is known as The Boy Who Drowned in Chocolate Sauce. It did not make it into the game for obvious reasons.
Well,
All right, Willy Wonka, good choice. All right, yeah, I kind of also went a little more literal on mine. So sometimes you just want to get away. You want to take a vacation. You want to, leave your life behind and do that. And it's really hard to do when it turns out that you're a memory suppressed secret agent who just wants to get to Mars. And so he's trying to find the guy, and so he's trying to find this secret friend of his, and it turns out it's a guy on another guy. So my small friend introduction is Quato from Total Recall.
All right.
Yeah, that was a good one.
I love that movie.
Yes, I'm actually glad I didn't pick it now because that would have been a steal. That was all that was on my short list of movies.
That's why I put it at the top, because I figured somebody would steal it.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Okay.
Very
all right,
nice.
So then back to you, Ray.
All right. So imagine you living in the ocean. You're a fish. And you come face to face with Don Lino, who's a shark and leader of a mob of criminally inclined great white sharks. And he's getting kind of angry at you because you've developed this reputation as a shark killer or shark slayer. And he starts coming after you, and you escape through a porthole of a sunken ship. And then he comes through, but he doesn't fit, and he gets stuck. All of a sudden, here comes this little shrimp, and who fears getting eaten by a shark, and Don Lino is his enemy, and he says, say hello to my little friends, and introduces him to a horde of little shrimp who proceed to gnaw at Don Lino's face.
That's Shark Tale, right?
Yeah, it's Shark Tale, right?
Yeah, Shark Tale.
I guess I should have said the name.
Waiting for the thing.
I'm sorry, it was Shark Tale.
Are we still guessing movies?
I got so into it. I'm sorry.
It's called A Shark's Tale, right?
No, it's just Shark Tale.
Shark Tale?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
I think it's just Shark Tale.
Tale, but it's just the two words.
Okay. All right. Shark Tale. Wow. I have not thought about that movie in decades. All right, Ocean, what do you got?
Once upon a time, a little boy named Foster Sabatini grew up in a circus family. And when he became an adult, he left the circus to strike it rich and failed miserably. And just as his relationship with his girlfriend Cynthia is failing, his wealthy father dies, leaving him millions of dollars with a few conditions. And when he comes back from the funeral reading, he's catching Cynthia just before she is going to leave him and the country. And Foster introduces her to 3 of the conditions and his 3 new little friends, who are little orangutans named Rusty, Tiga, and Poppy. And if you don't recognize this movie by the description, that's fine, because it is 1981's Going Ape.
Oh,
and that is a
wow.
movie starring Tony Danza, Danny DeVito, Stacey Morgan and Cynthia, and Jessica Walter. And the movie is, I saw it tons of time as a kid. It is a crazy, insane plot where his wealthy father dies. Tony Danza's wealthy father dies, giving him the orangutans he has to take care of, while at the same time there are bungling. Let's see, it's further complicated by the fact his girlfriend is unhappy, his girlfriend's mom hates him, Jessica Walter, and there are bungling assassins who are hired by the local zoological society, who will inherit both the money and the orangutans if one of the orangutans dies. So there's a lot
of course there are
going
assassins.
on in this movie, and it makes less sense than what I just told you.
Is it a guy in a suit? Is the ape a guy in a suit?
No, they're actual orangutans.
Really?
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah, the movie started real orangutans, and so
Back
there
before
was 3
that was illegal.
orangutans, and Danny DeVito comes, and he's from the circus and everything. And he always has these weird quotes of some type of knowledge, and it's like Love Laszlo, which is the name of Tony Danza's father's character. And they get in all these different hijinks, and the orangutans actually do little tricks, and they're kissing people and stuff like that, and doing various things. But there's these people that are constantly coming. There's 2 assassins that are bungling. They're like the Home Alone villains circa 1981, and they're constantly trying to kill the orangutans, and so they have to then keep the orangutans safe while trying to make their relationships work. It's insane. It's very 1981. Like, if you ever saw it, the second you're watching, you're like, oh, this is a 1981 movie.
Is this Silver Linings fodder?
It very well could be, because it looks. I mean, it's Tony Danza and Danny DeVito in '81, so they're like, well, these people love them in Taxi, so let's make a movie and throw orangutans in it, because any which
box
way
office gold.
Right? Yeah, exactly. Clint Eastwood just made Any Which Way You Can. So
right.
The orangutans are gold. Taxi is gold. Let's put it together. See what happens.
All right, Going Ape.
Going Ape with an exclamation point at the end.
Oh,
if that helps.
If that matters, yeah.
That
seems to be a recurring theme throughout the thing.
Yeah.
And actually, it's funny because one of my films actually has an exclamation point as well. But not this one. So my next one, raising a kid is hard. Raising a kid that isn't yours, it can be even harder. And when you find someone to take care of the kid, you think, okay, my problems are over. And then suddenly you're walking back home, and there's the baby flying over your head, being held by a giant hawk. And you wonder, how did I get into this? So my movie is Willow from 1998. And the little friends are Rule and Frangine, the brownies, played by Kevin Pollak and Rick Overton.
Very nice. Very nice indeed.
That's right. They stole the baby from the stupid Daikini while he was taking a pee-pee. So, for those of you who haven't seen Willow, you should watch it, because it's going to be having a sequel series soon on Disney+.
There you go.
They're doing television series of Willow?
Yep, they're doing a television series of Willow.
Well, I hope they do a good job. That was a fun little movie. So yeah,
yeah, it's underrated.
It was a fun movie. I don't want to disparage it by calling it little. And one of Val Kilmer's finest performances.
Agreed. His Mad Mardigan is one of the best.
Yeah.
Many D&D characters have been based on Mad Mardigan, I would wager. All right, so back to Ray.
All right. For my final pick, this was the first movie that I thought of, and it also has an exclamation point in the title. So, in the scene of this movie, our main character, Anthony Cortino, comes home with his girlfriend, and his brother Joey is getting married, and as his father is dancing with the bride, a priest starts walking toward the dance floor and says, say hello to my little friend, pulls his frock open, and from between his legs is Deep Roy with a Tommy gun.
Deep Roy.
And shoots Don Vincenzo Cortino 47 times. This is the movie Jane Austen's Mafia.
Wow. Jane Austen. I haven't thought about that one in a long time, too. Wow. Exclamation point. Mafia.
Okay.
I love it. All right. Ocean, your last one.
So you decide to take your lady of the moment to a Thai kickboxing match. And part of the way through the match, you realize she's not moving. And of course, you suspect she's dead. And right at that moment, Scaramanga, a high-priced hitman, sits down next to you and informs you that he killed her and that you should not try anything or you will have to deal with his little friend behind you. And you turn around to look and don't see anyone. Scaramanga says, look down. And there you see him, Knick-Knack. Because you are James Bond, and Scaramanga in the movie is the man with the golden gun, and Knick-Knack is played by Hervé Villachez. And if you're wondering which James Bond is Roger Moore, who was my first James Bond that I still love.
Ah, okay.
Dude, your delivery is amazing.
Sir Christopher Lee.
Sir Christopher Lee, yes. And that's Scaramanga, who went on to become Count Dooku.
Yes, right. And Saruman. Who's this guy? Saruman.
Saruman. That's right. Yes, Saruman. Yes.
Very nice. I'd say it oddly. This is my second sequential appearance where Hervé Villachez's name was mentioned. The little guy's following me around.
Yeah.
All right. So my last one. God, I love a good dumb joke, and so this is one of them. So imagine that they decided that they were going to send Elvis undercover in World War II to infiltrate the Nazis. That's the rough premise of a film from 1984 called Top Secret. Now, the actual situation I'm talking about is they are at a Nazi club. So Nick Rivers, Val Kilmer, Val Kilmer is in two of my films, is a basically American rock star, and then he has met the local girl whose name I forgot to write down, and so they're sitting at the table, and the waiter comes up and starts asking basically what they want in German, and so Nick Rivers says, "I'm sorry, I don't know any German," and his companion answers, "Oh, I know a little German. He's sitting over there," and the camera cuts to the very short German with lederhosen who stands up and tips his hat. It's such a dumb joke, but I watched it again on YouTube and I started laughing hysterically again. Oh God, I love it. So Top Secret's from the makers of Airplane, and I'm going to be writing about it on our Instagram. So make sure if you're not subscribed to At the Next Reel, look forward to that. Top Secret is one of the great hidden gems of the 80s. It's so dumb and so brilliant at the same time.
Yes, it is a great dumb movie.
Yeah,
and yeah, it's great.
Still laughing about that stupid joke. All right, so those are one. So did you guys have any backups in case there were steals?
I only had one. This topic was very difficult for me. And so my backup was basically the movie. My backup was Child's Play.
Oh,
yes.
Okay,
nice.
So I won't go through my whole little write up that I did for it, but yeah, I did one just in case.
I didn't do a write up either, but I have notes. Mine was Gizmo from Gremlins.
Oh, nice. Don't get them wet.
Exactly. And a much more modern one from 2019, a little film called The Rise of Skywalker, Babu Frick.
Nice. One of the few saving graces of that film.
You can actually buy now a life-size Babu Frick. They've made a figure that's actually to scale.
Babu, I'm blanking on who that is.
It's the little mechanic that fixes Obi-Wan. That fixes C-3PO. That's able to, so you can translate.
Did you just confuse C-3PO and Obi-Wan Kenobi?
I might have. There's a lot of similar sounds that go through there, and sometimes my mouth does not like to obey.
Yeah, and the Rise of Skywalker is really kind of something.
Yeah, exactly. We all have some scar tissue from that.
Yeah, so it's like trauma. I kind of blotted some of that stuff out because
it's a little crusty.
I mean, they just really. I guess I'm really they just really looked at The Last Jedi and was like, well, we need to fix all of that. Right. And so then they just made things up that were like,
well, they went to Last Jedi and went, we need to wipe all that stuff away.
Yeah, right. We're just going to pretend that didn't happen.
Yeah.
Do some fan service and here you go. And it's like, oh, okay. So Emperor Palpatine is back.
Thank you.
Like, exactly. It didn't work at all.
All right, so then we need to inflict the pain that was inflicted on us on the next people. And sadly, Ocean, you are one of those people. So I guess we probably won't be as vicious as we would be if you weren't one of those. So we need to pick what our category is going to be for next year. So the next film in the Oliver Stone series is Year of the Dragon, directed by Michael Cimino. So it's from 1985. So there's a couple different options we can do. So you guys have the list. Anything in particular jump out of there for you?
Oh, well, I'll go with the easy one that will definitely not win. Cops going outside the law to get the job done.
Are you already working on the list, Ocean? Come on.
I can come up with a list off the top of my head right now.
I know.
There are 1,000 of those. So I'll do that because the hosts of next week's show are hosts that I care about and want them to be able to have a fun-filled discussion of movies that they love.
Okay. I wish I could pull a Tommy or a Rob, but unfortunately, I'm too good of a citizen as I'm sitting in the big chair. So I have many years ago, so I can't remember anything about it enough to pull out something bizarre. But I'm also a good host, and I don't want to get fired, so I'm going to have to go off of the list that was provided and not pull something weird. So Ray, that leaves it to you to pull something weird out.
I got nothing weird, but I really do like the idea of living spaces with killer views.
Ooh.
Dun, dun, dun.
Okay. Take that however you want it.
Yeah, exactly. And Ocean will. All right. And mine, I think I'm going to go with calendar-related titles.
Nice.
Because I think people can have some fun with that, because you could. There's some interesting interpretations of those words you could go for.
I already got my list. Oh, wait,
see, there you go.
Not there.
Yeah.
Just send it to one of the other guys. All right, so those are. So we have living spaces with killer views. We have calendar-related titles, and we have cops going outside the law to get the job done.
Man.
Well, so you're saying to yourself, gosh, fellas, I sure had a swell time listening to your weird games and list making, but how can I get involved and also help keep this madness flowing into my ear holes? Well, it's quite simple. Just go to nextreel.com/membership and sign up. For a mere $1 a month, you don't even have to put in a red envelope. You can become a one-reeler and get access to our Discord server, and we say thank you. But wait, you say, I do want to do more and get more back. Well, generous patron, if you up your monthly donation, you can morph into the super powerful two-reeler and be able to watch live streams as we record, like this one, and get early access to new episodes of our shows in your very own private podcast feed. Pretty swanky. Plus super secret member channels on Discord, like the auspicious Show Talk channel. Ooh. What's so important about the Show Talk channel? I'm so glad you asked, dear devoted listener. If you'd like to vote in next week's poll, the only place you can do so is on that very same Show Talk channel. Monthly schmonthly, I hear you say. I've got a wad of cash and I want to give it to you in one fell swoop. Then good news, you can now give us an annual donation at any level. It's convenient, it's affordable, it's good for your soul. And because enough is never enough, and you've been so patient listening through all this self-promotion, we've got a special offer for you, diligent listener. If you go to thenextreel.com/letterboxed, you can upgrade your Letterboxd account to Pro or Patron with a 20% off discount. But host whose name I've forgotten, I've already have a Letterboxd account. First of all, it's okay you don't remember my name. And secondly, you're in luck. This discount also works on renewals. So give a little, get a little. It's the only way 2021 is going to work correctly. And that's our show. Another Saturday matinee in the book. So, gentlemen, can you give us a sneak preview of when we might be seeing the next Silver Linings or possibly future inclusions into your show?
It is available as of yesterday.
What?
Yes, the newest episode of Silver Linings came out on the 12th of February. And it is covering a little movie that we enjoy that some people don't, called Brightburn from 2019.
A James Gunn joint.
Yeah. Well, sort of. He produced it.
My little self-promotion thing is a little side project. So before Rob and I took over as on the Marvel Movie Minute and started inflicting our madness on all these other shows like Saturday Matinee, we had our own podcast that almost no one has listened to. So due to the generosity of Pete, we were able to salvage it from the archives and bring it back up. So we actually did a Doctor Who podcast that almost no one has ever heard. So they have taken it, dusted off, haven't enhanced the audio in any way, and not made it available for all of you. So it's called Time for 13. Our premise was we were watching all of the Doctor Who episodes in anticipation of the 13th Doctor, Jodie Whittaker's first appearance. So we were taking a season per episode, which is madness. And you'll watch us slowly unravel as we try and keep it to that. So it's a little rougher than what we're used to on Monday Matinee, but it is also a lot of fun, and we had a ton of fun doing it, and we sort of learned how to become podcasters from that. As you can see by the smooth professional that you see before you, I only got this way because of Time for 13. So that is a separate podcast you can subscribe to on your own. We will not inflict it on the Next Reel feed. It is its own thing. If you're a Doctor Who fan, if you're a fan of Rob and I, particular brand of Marble Mouth Madness, you can go and subscribe to that and listen to it. We had a ton of fun doing it, and so we're glad that it actually is getting a thing. So thank you to Pete and Next Reel for letting us bring that back from the dead to regenerate into a new form, as one might say. All right, so that's the end. That's right, we respawned. All right, so thank you, Ray. Thank you, Ocean.
Thank you. It was a pleasure to be here.
Yes, thank you, God. That outro is great. So, I really enjoyed it. That was awesome.
Wait, what was your name again?
See, I have to keep putting that in there until one day they'll remember who I am.
Well, you have to go to Cheers, where everybody
That's right.
knows
where
your
everybody
name.
knows my name.
Exactly. Bring
I'm on the way. Good night, everybody. Enough said.